If you are in the market to sell your house, but you dread the idea of fixing it up to put it on the market, our next guest may have the answer for you. It's always fun to have Thomas DeMoss, Lee Gates here. They're with Chattanooga Property Solutions. Great to see y'all.
Yeah, thank you for having us back.
So we were having a conversation before we went on air, and I loved what you said about we are here to give the seller the customized experience they're kind of looking for, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How would you elaborate on that, really?
Well, I think one of the pictures that we showed you, we just bought a house on Central Avenue. It was a life change situation where the seller's mom, he had a horse farm in Kentucky, and he needed his mom closer. And they didn't want to go through the challenges of kind of doing the fix up and the listing. So Lee went out, met with the couple. We made them a fair offer. We were able to close on their house in 2 weeks. And it is an incredible house. It's one that I'm really going to be proud of architectural wise.
We're going to ooh and ah over it.
Yeah.
But before we do, I think it was the last time y'all were here, because you're not here super often, but I think it was the last time you were here, and what you both talked about was this ability you have to come in and help people in a tough situation, because you allow them really to hold on to the value of their house before they lose it.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm proud of, that we can say honestly, is that sitting here on the sofa is like the entire decision-making team of our organization. And we live in an industry where national level massive companies are buying houses all the time. International levels of buying are happening. And we're not a perfect fit in every situation. I'd never be that arrogant. But if someone is in a situation where they've decided that a traditional sale with an agent may not be ideal, wouldn't it be nice to work with someone whose office in Hixson you can drive to if you have a question, whose cell phone number you can call, and I'll answer, from my home here in Chattanooga.
So it's local going to local.
Is kind of our focus.
I think that's a lot of people's focus these days. So I don't know if we have the picture of the house on Central, but if we do you want to brag?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because what y'all have done is, this is already the after of what you've done to fix it up?
Oh, no, we just bought it.
Yeah,
Okay.
And it
just bought
needs
it.
a lot.
Yeah.
But it is a really special house.
2 acres of land.
2 acres of land.
So
Absolutely.
to the point of being able to kind of come in and do what the seller wants. If it's often the homes that you're buying are not already in kind of established neighborhoods, is that right? They have some options of how they're going to be used?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we love to renovate them. We've had several folks that said, hey, when you get done, can we come back and take a look at it? And
It's
absolutely.
probably about my favorite day in the office.
That would be
is to
really
show
fun.
someone their home.
Absolutely.
After we've done some things.
Yeah, because they probably have lived in it with a dream of what they could turn it into.
Sometimes you've got these homes that are multi-generational in a family.
Yeah.
There is like legacy and story, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And so to be welcomed into that, to be able to respect that and be a part of solving what it is they're trying to solve, it's kind of an honor.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about where we find ourselves economically, because obviously it's been a great time if you're a seller. That's kind of been the buzzword on the street. If you're the home owner and you're living in the home, it's still, the economy's rough. And you hear all the time about people charging their groceries because they can't afford to buy them. Y'all are big believers in taking advantage of the equity that's in that house.
Absolutely. And we want to take care of people. Our first question is, if you call us to sell a house, where are you going? We do not want to make people homeless. We want them, when we work with them, to have an exit strategy. And a lot of times, to be completely transparent, this guy tells people that the best thing you can do is stay in your home.
Really?
So, yes. We do not want to take advantage. We want to help people, guide people, and if we're a good fit for them, then we're going to work it out.
Okay, didn't you talk to me last time you were here about, there were 2 different people I think that you highlighted, kind of with this idea of how you transform life for them. And do you remember who I'm talking about?
Absolutely, I do. I'm headed to that house after we leave.
Okay, because what was the story? It was like you helped them. They were going to foreclose on it, maybe?
Yeah, we had a gentleman that had unfortunately life had happened to him and it had been rough. And his family did not know the situation. And he was embarrassed of the living conditions. Actually, I took my son into that house yesterday, and I don't want to cry, but my son said somebody lived here. And I said, yeah, he did, buddy. And it was just one of those things. And we were able to help him find a new home.
That's right.
And he's in a home where he's got a lot of care.
Yeah.
That I think is probably really helpful. He's got folks to help him with stuff that you and I take for granted.
Right.
Laundry
Yeah.
or making a sandwich, something like that.
So we don't rehearse these things, but I'm really glad that it came up this way because there's an embarrassment factor that people carry, and they shouldn't have to.
No, absolutely not.
There's a so the problem properties we talk about, the problems come in all shapes and sizes, right? It could be something about the condition of the home that severely needs help. It could be a scenario that someone's in financially. It could be life circumstances. We see situations where someone has passed away, gotten divorced, gotten married, all these things that have happened that may not directly have anything to do with the house, but really the house.
Yeah.
The consistent thing I see is that people can feel stuck.
Yeah.
And so if you've got a situation where you're stuck and the idea of calling your favorite real estate agent isn't appealing, and there's reasons that's the case. There's some great agents out there. We know some really good ones. If that's the case and you want to be unstuck, what you're lacking is information. To make a decision that someone might make once or twice in a lifetime about selling a house is hard.
Right.
And that's part of what I love doing. I'm going to come out and I'm going to try and listen. I'm going to try and understand. And if something occurs to us in that conversation that might be better than me buying the house, well, by all means, shouldn't we pursue that instead?
The fact that you're going out to that house now several months later and that you still have that connection with that man means an
Absolutely.
awful lot, I think, to
Absolutely.
people.
Yes.
So how far do you service? How far away do you go?
We do about 60-mile radius.
Okay.
We'll go down to Lafayette, South Pittsburgh, but our core business is here in the Chattanooga
Up to
area.
Cleveland.
Okay, so if this sounds like it would be something that would help you, maybe you have a neighbor who's struggling, or you might be the man whose mom was here and he has to get her up closer to him in Kentucky, give them a call. It's ChattanoogaPropertySolutions.com, 454-3070. I think the buzzwords, you're hyper local
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
your neighbor helping neighbor.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Thank
Thanks.
you.